why does Yad, and why do I speak the way I do, and why they can't understand our speech? You understand? Especially the Ethiopians will say, "Why you speak Amharic the way you do?" You understand? And some say that, well, to listen to me, it's hard to listen to me, and I'm not a good narrator. You understand? Well, we don't have the leisure. You understand? In these evil days, you understand, seeking to redeem the time. You understand, to put all the bells and the whistles and to do like a lot of these Illuminati kind of videos and documentaries, well polished bells and whistles kind of documentaries and narrations out there, like our movies. See, documentaries that become like kind of movies. It's entertainment. And we say Illuminati documentaries. We're not saying documentaries about the Illuminati so much. We're saying these documentaries out there are actually the Illuminati's documentaries. They're purposely being put out there to keep a lot of y'all into a frozen psychological state, to keep you in a fear state. It's like Fear Factor. Remember that TV show? It's Fear Factor. They've done a whole lot of research on what to do to keep a lot of people in suspended animation. We got a couple of videos that you can order, or you can look for them elsewhere. But definitely you need to check them out for yourself. One of them is The Power of Nightmares. Power of Nightmares, excellent BBC research, and 4-part, I think 3 or 4-part series. And there is The Century of the South. The Century of the South shows you part of this Babylonian matrix, part of this spiritual Egypt that a lot of y'all are caught up in. You understand? You're in bondage to this. You understand? Because like 2012 is coming along. What do we do? What happens? Everybody's looking around waiting for the next video to drop to really find out something. They put you into this entertainment zone, like what they do with movies. The same thing they do with movies, because the movie business kind of dropped off a little bit. But the first thing they saw is that when they started to do these documentaries like the Michael Moore, for example, the Michael Moore documentary, and then you have the Alex Jones. And we're not pointing and saying these people are part of the Illuminati or not, but what they're doing for the most part is working in the way of what the Illuminati has already preconceived, you understand, should happen at this time. Their Illuminati, their so-called light, you understand, which is darkness, which is actually ignorance, which is not light. Remember, Satan transformed himself to be a minister of righteousness, a minister of light. So this is what the false Illuminati, or the WASP, is about. But the true B is the true light, and we're speaking of the King of Kings, and it's Christ. That is the true light, which is really the true Illuminati. But we're not going to really go there right now, because some of y'all are still trying to digest what we just said about the fact that a lot of these Illuminati videos are actually the product of the Illuminati about itself, to keep you in a frozen psychological state. To keep you in a sense of suspended animation that may buy them time, you understand, to repair the breaches in their old world order. When it was first dropped back in 1776, it was a new world order. You understand? So, but they're still fooling you with that, and that is the open deception that most of you don't pick up on. That's like Adam and Eve, and what happened with Eve and the serpent in the garden. You understand? They talk about the new world order, and they're showing you the dollar bill, and they're saying this is 1776 and it's a new world order. I mean, how are you so daft and so nice that you don't recognize that this is 2009 going on 2010? So just want to say 2010. This is 2010 now, right? 1776 was how many years ago? The new world order is not new. This is how they're fooling the people. You know what I'm saying? So people still call it the new world order because that's what they want to make you believe. So in order to foster that preconceived belief, or that make-believe, you know what I'm saying, they have to make these videos. You understand? And what better way to get these videos made, you understand, than to put it into this way where people are making the videos trying to tell you, oh, watch out, Illuminati, they control everything. You know, there's nothing we can do about it, so forth and so on. So where does that leave you? Where does that leave you? That leaves you in a frozen psychological state. That leaves you in a suspended animation. And that means the animus is the soul. Animus is the soul. What gives you movement, like nefese and nefs. You understand? What gives you movement. So you don't really have any movement. Your soul, your psychological, your psycho, you understand, your mind is in suspended in limbo, to keep you in limbo. And what's interesting is this. Since you know that Mystery Babylon has an intimate link with the Vatican and the Pope, we know this. Even the Pope and the Vatican, they even admit this in their own Bibles, actually. You understand? In the Dewey Rames Bibles and the Vulgate Bibles, they even admit that they are Mystery Babylon. So Mystery Babylon, Vatican, Pope, those deny who they are. But part of their theology, part of their interpretation of them making themselves into God, and the Pope into God, and them into the kingdom of God, the eternal city and all that, blah, 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 you understand, is limbo. Limbo is a part of the religious psychobabble, you understand, of Mystery Babylon. Limbo. So they're keeping the people right now in a suspended point of animation. You understand? War and terror, Illuminati, they got everything all sewn up. Aliens, extraterrestrials, global warming. We got to save the earth. People who are not even saved themselves are trying to save something so much greater than themselves, and they can't even save themselves. You see the vanity of it? But in the vanity of their minds, you understand, this is how the Gentiles manifest themselves. This is how we know them. What Getachi Jesus Christos, Yehoshua, told us, that the Gentiles go about in the vanity of their minds. You understand? That's why we're not to be conformed to the world system, but to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. This is why we continue to emphasize the urgent imperative and the need of the rebirth, you understand, of being born again, especially among the so-called Rastas and the Faris, the Rastafari, especially amongst the Ethiopian Hebrew diaspora, to be born again. Because if you're not born again, then you're stuck. You're saying you're stuck. You was born in a world of the so-called Illuminati. You was born in a world that's being ruled by the Satans and Luciferian, the world system. This world system was existing before you were born. You understand? You was born into this world system. You understand? You didn't see this world system come about after you was born, but by the time you were born, you was born already into this world system. You understand? Which has been going on for, some say 6, you understand? Some say more, thousands of years. You understand? And it's coming to its own prophetic end.